name is Professor Baldy, and I run a school for juvenile delinquents. But not just any delinquents. Mine are specially gifted. You might even call them mutants. Trust a few reformed ex-cons. Tangerine.
Am I the apple of your eye, Bubba?
Jeannie Gray. Beastie Boy.
Everybody dance now.
Snow Cone.
Is it hot in here, or is it just me?
And their friends from X-Force. Cable TV.
Eat remote control, frog face.
Garfarel. Meow. Dominoes.
This book has just the right amount of cheese.
And introducing the Newt Mutants. Beware the rest. Magneto. Mistress Piggy. And not at all breaking the fourth wall. Cesspool. Now, Parody Press Comics is back with X-Force Reloaded #1. Don't miss this extraordinary comics extravaganza with 7 full color stories of marvelous mutant mayhem. Back this book today for awesome variant covers and original artwork tiers. 48 pages of action and hilarious hijinks by some of comics' funniest talents. Parody Press, making the world laugh again. Only on Indiegogo.
Hello and welcome everyone. This is Doodle and Chill and welcome to the comic book parody edition. And I got the regulars with me joining tonight. We got Michael Beacon.
Hey, how's it going?
We got Brendan Diaz from the Diaz Brothers.
Hey, everyone.
And we got the special guest with us for this parody edition. And we have Don.
Hey, everyone. Good to be here.
Mr. X-Force himself. And he brought himself 2 friends. We got Michael too. And Bill.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
So how's it going, guys?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Okay.
I'm doing well. It's kind of a relaxing Sunday afternoon here, and I live out in California. A little damp, a little rain yesterday, but overall not too bad.
And right now you got your campaign that's live called X-Force Reloaded #1.
Yes, we do.
And am I right to say that I remember that from something similar that came back like in the 90s or something?
Yeah, it's based on this. This was our original 92 Eclipse. I don't know if you remember Eclipse comics, but they did a lot of stuff today. And so this was the very first book that Bill and I ever worked on together. And then after this book came out, we actually did Parody Press Comics. And so we did, literally probably at least 100 different satires with that company.
And you still have the original copies?
Yeah, this one actually sold really well, Simon. We had, do you remember, Bill, like, was it over 70,000 or?
I think the number that we had tossed around before was somewhere between 70 and 80,000 copies, I think.
Yeah, so it can still be picked up fairly reasonably on eBay or Mile High Comics.
Yeah, I remember it in comic book shops when I was younger. Yeah.
Yeah, so we basically poked fun at Rob Liefeld's X-Force, which came out, a few months earlier, and it did well. And then Bill and I just thought, we can do this ourselves. And Eclipse was kind of having some financial difficulties, so we took the big plunge and we started to do books in 1992. So the very first one we did was the Unfunny X-Cons, which I have a copy of.
That one right here? Okay, let me lock on you. Boom.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we did 3 different variant covers of this.
Excellent.
And we spoofed 3 different eras. We did the 1960s, the 1980s, and then the Jim Lee era of X-Men. So there was 3 different chapters in the X-Cons. So X-Farce Reloaded is actually, we're reprinting X-Farce and then one of the stories that I did in X-Cons all in color, because these books were all black and white back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So the Reloaded is basically our remastered version of the stuff that Bill did and another guy named Mark Lewis did. But then we have 18 pages of new material by a lot of, newer creators like Mike Barron. The guys that do Mighty Mascots are doing work. And then Michael, who's in our chat, is also contributing some new material.
So,
And which I just finished inking today.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Yeah, I sent my stuff. Dell and I are inking. We picked pieces to ink. I sent everything over to Dell by I think 1 o'clock today.
Thank you, Michael.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, Simon, we're about, as far as production on the book, we're probably like 90% done. There's just a few outstanding stories, but because most of the work was already done from the earlier material, it was just a matter of getting it colored.
Mm-hmm.
Which you're showing the people in the chat some of the work. Yeah, that's a new piece. That's by Michael, the Professor Quack.
Here you have your stretch goals. That if you reach 15, exclusive X-Farce color magnet. 25, you get an exclusive X-Farce holographic sticker. And this is the one I heard you talk about, the Berserker color poster.
Right? Yeah.
I laughed when you talked about the
Bill's drawn Beardzerker, and
was it?
It's
on
like
the Adam Post stream. I think you talked about it.
Yeah. I think I was on Adam's show last week, and I'm excited. It's kind of like a cross between Bill and Ted meets a Keanu Reeves Berserker character that he's doing.
So yeah, the book's almost done, and it's people that have been doing comics for a long time. So you're gonna get stuff. You're gonna get your shit.
That's the goal. That's the goal. One of the stretch goals was 50,000. You get a whoopee cushion with a Sasquatch.
So let's go quickly over the tiers here. You have all 3 X-Farce covers, so you have 3 variant covers. So that's the main one plus those 2 ones, right? The New Mutant and the X-Con ones, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Bill. The one on the left is Bill's redrawn cover of 2020. So he did a homage to his original Eclipse cover that he did last.
I homaged myself.
Is that Bill?
Yeah, I was just agreeing with you that I homaged myself.
Yeah, he homaged himself.
It looks like homaging myself. I just wanted to prove that after 30 years, I actually got like a little bit better.
But I think that's the first thing that hit me, is like, that looks familiar, but new. What? When I first saw the cover, I was like, I saw this before, but
yeah, it's the new shiny. It's the new shiny. You got the old busted, and you got the new shiny.
Okay, and here for 25, you get the regular, just the what's called the tribute to himself cover.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain that people actually paid me for half of my life to practice how to draw, so that's not a bad deal.
That's true. Self tribute cover.
Followed by the Unfunny X-Con number 1A variant cover.
Yeah, that's by Mark Lewis, and he's the guy that does that Kirby looking page right in the center of the. There you go. That's Mark Lewis's work. So that's one of the interior pages that Delphin, our colorist, we asked him to kind of go with a 1960s kind of vibe with the color. And then he said, well, not only can I do that, but I can actually make the pages look like they're old and brown. So he put a cool filter on it. It makes it look like it's aged.
Here you have the Rob Willis variant cover, which it's not on there, but you will announce it soon, probably.
Yeah, and that New Mutants one, Simon, that's actually probably going to be a back cover. So
you mean This one
The one
that we see
the
here.
one- yeah, that'll probably be on the back.
Perfect.
But it's good enough to be on the front. It's just,
It looks great.
I think it is.
It looks straight out from the remember the New Mutant from the 90s where they were coming out with all those weird characters. They had those darker stories back then.
Right.
Remember the what was the name of the werewolf girl?
Wolfsbane.
Willsbane. I remember like a really dark story of her in New Mutants, and the cover seemed like something like this. That's what it reminds me of every time.
Yeah,
Her name
that's
was
what
Rani or something like that.
that's what we tried to go for. I told Thad, the artist, can you make it look like Bill Sienkiewicz like in the 90s? And he
Exactly.
He didn't really,
So here, that's the Parody Press Comic Vault Pack. You will get an assortment of Parody Press comic book issue from 92 to 2007. All comic sign. So they'll be getting what you showed us before, technically.
yeah, I mean, it might have like ex-cons, or like I said, we did hundreds of different spoofs, but I only have a few copies of each, so it's basically what I can find in my storage of Parody Press books.
And here you have a sketch card by Bill Mouse himself for $50.
$50. What a bargain.
I know, right?
You have the X-Files Reloaded #1 6-pack.
Yep. That's mainly for speculators or maybe a dealer that wants to try.
Yeah, an LCS or something.
Yeah, 6 books, and then we have a 10-pack, which you get a bigger discount.
Then you have the lunchbox.
Yeah, that's the. If you scroll down a little bit further, Simon, we have a shot that everything that comes with the colossal executive box. So for $200, if you want to get this tier, you get all 3 books, and they're all signed. No additional charge. We have a metal lunchbox, and then a ceramic mug with Bill's cover on it, and then that also comes with the trading a sketch, pen and ink sketch card by Bill.
An original sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, not just a copy.
Okay, now where was I? There you go. You have the X-Con cover sketch pencil art for $2.95.
Yeah.
So original art, here you have page 7 from X-Con for $500, page 9 of the same comic, so on and so forth. Then you have the X-Files original cover art for $600 by Bill Mouse.
Yeah.
The New Mutant original art, page 1, and that one's $6,000 is the New Mutant back cover art. And the Rob Willis original for $1,500, because let's round it up for $1. Come on.
We were joking on another show. They said, you ought to do a Rob Willis cover and just put Rob Willis's photo on it.
Should have grabbed one of it on his Twitter where he was showing those abs.
Might be a centerfold. We might get some female buyers.
You don't even need to get him to draw; just need to put down on the cover.
Everybody tells me he's really fit. I don't think I've seen those pictures. Is he pretty ripped?
He was when we saw him last year. I don't know if the quarantine made him lose it, but maybe not being able to get out of the house, he kind of shrunk. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But according to what I know, he's pretty fit. So yeah, people, go check out that campaign, especially if you like a little side of comedy, and it's always fun to laugh, especially with those weird days that we're having for the last year or two, or no matter how you feel, it's always fun to cheer up and laugh at stuff.
Thank you, Simon.
Yes.
You're awesome. Thank you so much.
I know that I'm in a different shape after the lockdowns. So here, I'm going to put up something on my screen. This is basically my diet. It's right next to my table because that's
Well, they melt in your mouth and not in your hands.
Energy pills.
quarantine food. It's quarantine food. It's about it.
That with a few vitamin D and C, you're good.
Oh yeah. I took a couple of those in the morning. That's what makes it healthy.
Yeah.
I mix it in with the M&Ms.
Just throw some milk on there and eat it with the spoon, Bill.
No, I don't want to go too far. I don't want to go too far. That makes it unhealthy.
So let's go see Michael Michael. Okay. I'll call him Michael and Beacon your Beacon. Michael.
Okay.
This is what
Yes.
Michael's doing. What are you working on?
Wait, you talking to me?
Yep.
I was just kind of drawing. I like to draw cartoon animals.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing kind of my version of Thor as a boar. So,
Looking cool.
thank you.
Mighty
I've-
Boar, I like
The
that.
mighty boar. Yeah, I've actually my first take on comics when I started going into the business back in the 90s in self-publishing was all about parodying superheroes with cartoon animals.
Mm-hmm.
So I did 4 issues of a book, and I do have plans sometime in the future to bring it back. I want to write it this year and draw it out. But he was never in there. But this is the type of characters I would do.
You know, one of the only parodies I've ever thought of doing, it was on a live stream because we were doing like anthropomorphic characters,
Mm-hmm.
and my idea went with like doing like the 3 pigs, right, that got pissed and militarized themselves. So, dude, when I had the idea in my head, war pigs.
War pigs, awesome.
That's great.
Right? Like war pigs,
Oh.
they had enough. They just had about enough, and they turned on the werewolves, and they got equipped. And I just thought like the idea was so freaking funny.
That's great.
He huffed and he puffed and he pissed them all off.
Yeah, exactly. They decided to fight back.
Okay.
Isn't that like a Pink Floyd song, War
Yeah,
Pigs?
it is. That's the entire point of it. War pigs. I just saw, imagine a montage type of thing. They're all training with listening to War Pig. Yeah.
Hey, Bill, do you remember when we went to like cons in the 90s and Guar was there?
Oh, dude, yeah, all the time. Later on, they were actually at our table. I shared a table with them.
Did they smell? They look like they would smell.
Just a smell of death.
They look like Road Warrior like characters.
So they smell the type of smell that you don't want to tell them that they smell.
But they're pretty fun, though. I mean, there was one year where we were sharing a table space with them, and one of the girls did not show up to dress up in costume, so we just grabbed a random girl from the crowd. And we're just like, yeah, it's like you just want to dress up like one of these Guar characters, and she agreed.
Oh, wow.
They had her dressed in almost nothing, and she was having a blast, and we're all thinking, so fun guy.
Good times.
Good times.
Michael G, do you go to many cons like in New York before the quarantine?
I actually went to tons of cons before the quarantine. A friend of mine and we used to run kids sections. So we would go, cons would bring us in, set us up, we'd bring artists, and we do workshops with the kids all weekend. So they'd
cool.
give us tables and stuff, and we would bring the supplies, and I would do things like, for me, how to draw cartoon animals or how to draw manga, or we'd have people come in. And I've had some, we had Don Wimmer come in once who does the Rose's Rose comic strip. One of the most fantastic things I've ever seen, the way he interacted with the kids and stuff. It was great.
Cool.
Yeah, but we get a lot of stuff, how to draw, dynamic poses. We work with people that are puppeteers and muppeteers, so we get a couple come in and do puppetry lessons, and we have a lot of fun stuff.
That's great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I got to be honest, I'm kind of enjoying not having cons right now.
I mean, that's one of the things I like about this indie comic thing that we're doing. It's like
Yeah.
having a 24/7 con online. So
Yeah.
it's way better than having to go somewhere every morning. like for like a weekend. You wake up, you go over there hoping to make your table, and you pay money over there, and it ends up costing you a lot more than you would. Because you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not the
Yeah.
only one that goes around and buy books. Am I right?
No, not at all.
We end up spending more than we make. That's for.
Yeah.
But because of the situation the way that it is, I noticed that a lot of us are making extra efforts to reach out and actually be in touch with each other and do things with each other, as opposed to when I go to a con. Sometimes when I go to a con, I feel like I'm in a bubble a little bit. We're promoting our thing, and you're running your booth or you're running your artist alley table, and before you know it, the weekend's completely passed you by, and you haven't seen anybody. So I feel like if we can, when things do come back to whatever the new normal is, if we keep on doing this because we're forced to learn how to do this, then I think we're going to be a lot more connected all the way around. I think that'll be really cool. If there's a
allows us to be more independent.
Yeah, it's like a more. Because I've talked to people, and I'm actually working with people that I wouldn't have worked with if the situations were different. Just we wouldn't have connected. It's like you might have at some point, but it's not as. There's a lot more things. So much stuff has happened just this year that I'm just like, wow, I thought.
Another example I like to use is when I used to do cons before. You used to go to a con. You used to try and promote your characters, your drawings, or something like that, right? And people would always ask you, "Do you have Batman? Do you have Superman?"
Oh, sure.
Right? And now you can technically, like, right a bit before it closed, you would go to a con, and people would go, "Oh, that's a nice Batman. That's a nice. Do you have anything of your own?" And that's something that never freaking happened before. Then people would always ask you, "Can you draw Batman? Do you have something with Batman, Superman, and something like that?" Now people will go, "Oh, you can draw them? Yeah. Do you have something on your own?"
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I'm fed up of all this shit. And you're like, "Huh."
Yeah, as a rule, I don't do prints. I mean, I don't do prints of other people's characters. I'll sell original art of people that I've drawn, but I don't do prints because I don't want. For me personally, I just don't want to make money off somebody else's stuff unless I'm getting paid for it. It just feels wrong to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like original art, you want me to draw Batman? Yeah, okay. But prints?
Yeah.
Never. Nope.
Yeah.
Bill, I'm drawing a homage to your cable TV cover. I am not an artist, but I'm giving it a college try here.
Hey, that's what we do. Usually we even have writers. We have Phil Diaz in here sometimes, or even Red Gaze, and they're drawing. That's what I'm saying. We're not here to, show off or flex. We're here to chill, and technically, like I said, it's like a drawing therapy.
Yeah.
No, it's nice, relaxing.
And we geek out. We talk about stuff like me. I remember like really having fun with reading those comics back in the days. I'm kind of happy they're coming back. And, especially with everything that's happening right now, comedy's been, you could say, missing in action.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah. Definitely, people need to chill out and laugh a little bit more.
Stop taking everything so goddamn seriously and start laughing at adversity sometimes and differences. Like, we don't have to agree at everything, goddammit.
I actually take offense to what you just said, and I'm going to start a group. I feel like you trampled on my rights, and I don't understand why you've done that after inviting me on your show. But you'll be hearing from my lawyer.
Fair enough.
Or at least my 7 fans. You never know. I'll ask them to stop.
So let's go see what Beacon is doing right now.
Okay.
So what are you doing, buddy?
I'll zoom out real quick.
Oh, that
I'm
looks like
drawing I'm drawing my character, Soylent Green.
Soylent Green.
He's like the Hulk, but he just gets angry and sissy slaps people. That's his power.
So the action figure will have the CC slap button, action button, right? Is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Kung Fu sissy slap. I mean, just look at that stance there. You know.
Oh my god. That's
Very
great.
provocative.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Provocative is the word I would use.
He's very well grounded, especially because the gut and everything. So.
I feel like he represents.
Yep.
What is Brendan doing? We can expect something sexy, and he does not disappoint.
I can't follow Soylent Green. You're setting me up for disaster. Lord.
I don't know. You seem to be heading in something pretty sweet there, babe. Hot dog, barbecue.
Yeah, I'm doing grill power. So,
Nice.
Uh,
I like that.
we came equipped on this parody show. Look, we're having expert in parody. We have to, show up or shut up. So let's see what Bill is doing. Well, hello. This is a very Sam Keith type of Wolverine.
Yeah, it is kind of Sam Keithish. Yeah. Well, I started I start with the eyes, just with a loose brush because my hand is probably too shaky to draw something sexy right now because all those damn M&Ms.
He kind of gives me a vibe of a mix between Beast and Wolverine, like.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm definitely ripping on the Wolverine right here for sure. I was thinking about drawing Tangerine from the book just because they're promoting the book, but I kind of forgot all the fruit and junk that goes on top of his head. I just wanted to draw the stubble. I don't know why. I just had to draw the stubble. This is how I warm up, though. Is get the shakes out of my hands so I can actually get some smooth lines out of myself.
Yeah, it's therapeutic to draw some little hair everywhere. It's very manly. I love it. I do the same thing. It gets prickly.
But the way I drew this part of his mask kind of low, yeah, he totally looks like Beast too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bill, what do you use to ink?
I use a little bit of everything, depending on how shaky my hand is or is not. Like a lot of the times, I like using these pit pens. They're basically the same thing as Micron. Everybody typically uses. I like these Pentel brush pens because I started using these because they're portable instead of me taking like actual ink and brushes on the road.
Oh, that's another type of Pentel brush. I don't have that one. Yeah, I have the one that's more like a pen.
Yeah, the one that's a pen. I got that one too. That's a great one. My daughter actually turned me on to that one. She also draws.
Yeah, that one. Yep.
Yeah, this one's great. It's just really fine lines, real detail. But this one is like super versatile too, and you could really you could be pretty rough with it too.
I have to grab one.
Yeah, grab a couple of them because like when the bristles get all kind of screwed up, you get different textures, different effects, and different things.
I've been working traditional for so long. Like
Yeah,
I went back to do some sketch card, and I want to go back to doing some traditional. I miss it.
And then this is a sign pen, Pentel sign pen, and it's kind of like a felt tip, but the felt tip is soft enough that it acts like a tiny brush. So you do get some kind of cool, like thick, thin lines. With
What's it called?
It's a Pentel sign pen.
Sign pen. Okay.
Yeah, SIGN, and it's got some Japanese lettering on the side of it. Let me see if I can see a part on that cover that would pretty quick.
I'm gonna take note and shop for it after.
Yeah, but it's just called the Pentel sign pen. You'll find them. They're easy to find. And that's and then all the usual suspects.
And
I like using white highlights.
Oh.
I
love those. They're freaking awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome, and they take a lot of punishment. It's like you can draw all day with them.
Mm-hmm. Like I
usually buy those in bulk.
I tried those jelly pens, and I'm like, nah, I'm going back to those. I like those.
The gel pens are some people can use them and they really do a nice job, but for me, they keep on skipping. They keep on,
Yeah.
it's like I don't get a smooth line out of them at all. You know what I like a lot is those Molotov graffiti paints. They're just filled with acrylic paint. Let me see. They look like this is a big fat version of it, but this is the brand though. It's a Molotov, but they're made for graffiti. But they make really thin ones, and it's just acrylic paint inside of them, so they work really well once you get the paint flowing. But you do have to watch out. I mean, you do have to like clean the tip of it and this and that because it'll dry up, especially if you're using white paint. White paint always tends to dry up and clog and stuff.
The only reason why I still wear digital is because it wins so much time. Especially when you're doing like pages, But I do miss, I love penciling. That's the first thing I like, pencil and inks. Like sometimes I sit with the kids in the living room watching movies, and that's all I do.
Yeah. You ever are you using Procreate at all, or using like Clip or?
I use Clip. I used to use Sketchbook Pro first because I always thought Photoshop it was always laggy with the pen response. Like it always like lagging with the line, like it's always trying to play catch up. Sketchbook was on the point, but then I tried Clip Studio and I'm like, it's the same, but it has tools of Photoshop. I'm happy.
I actually had a bad problem with Photoshop with the lag, and there's one setting on there that I think it's line smoothing. I have to pop the screen open so I can see what the setting was, but I turned it to 0 and the lag went away. It was it really helped. But I don't know if that's the same problem that you were having. It might have, because there is like a tiny bit of lag just with the pen. So
I only notice on Photoshop, because I use Photoshop like all the time. I notice my only lag is if I'm streaming with it. When I'm drawing naturally,
streaming. For sure,
I almost never notice a lag.
Honestly, I mean, I still use Photoshop for everything, but all of my coloring and digital inking, I've switched over to the iPad. I'm using Procreate for all that stuff now. And so anytime that I am working digital, most of the time I do try to work traditional, just because I want to have something that I can actually sell and put in somebody's hand, like an actual physical piece. But there's tons of projects that I work on that are like production work or script pitches and stuff like that. So, nobody's going to buy those pages. So I do all that stuff digital. And inking on the iPad has been like fantastic. I didn't think at all that it would be that cool.
Yeah, everybody's telling me that. That's what Scottman does. He uses Procreate.
Yeah, it's been great. But I still take the files and I put them right back in Photoshop so I can finish up all the other stuff. All my lettering and color correcting and making sure everything's the right size and putting it away in the folder the way the way we normally do. And so it ends up in Photoshop afterwards anyway. But as far as actually the actual heavy duty work, I've been doing all my inking and coloring straight up on the iPad.
Yeah, I have it. UN Canvas Pro 22-inch. I use Clip Studio.
Yep. That's awesome. You have Canvas, right?
Canvas Pro, yep. When they stopped putting batteries in there and actually been competing with Wacom Cintiq, because every time I tried it before, but it's somebody that's people that work in the industry of gaming here. They said like, dude, we just bought a whole bunch of UN for our production studio. They really topped it up. I'm like, what? And then they gave me the link to the Canvas Pro 22, and I'm like, okay, I'll try it. It was like 1,200 when they came out, the new Canvas Pro 22. I'm like, I'll try it. Like, there's no more battery and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And dude, I'm like, I'm sold. I'm buying you one now for half the price of Cintiq. You have something almost the same, and I don't have. The glass comes with a texture on it. Like, you don't feel like you're drawing on a window. Like, you have to buy an extra little thing to put on the Cintiq usually to have that feel. That's in the glass.
That's nice.
Sweet.
So
I've never used the Huion brand. So.
But don't try it. The one before the Canvas Pro, they were meh. But Canvas Pro and up, they're nice. Like now they're promoting their new 16-inch.
Mhm.
And everybody's really liking it because now they also have the tilt effect. They have the 9,186 by pressure and shit. Everything that Cintiq has, it has. The only thing that that says is the gamut. It still has a little something to catch up to the color gamut that Cintiq has. Other than that, it's on the same thing.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
And if you can pay, because I think for you guys, me it's 1,200, so I think for you would be like 800 something or $1,000 to buy a new one, like the new model. So it comes to a really good deal when you think that the other one's like 2,500 and up. When you buy a Cintiq, they're pretty expensive.
Oh yeah. I feel kind of bad because mine's been gathering dust. It's like I actually got more comfortable with the iPad than with the Cintiq. Not to mention the fact I can just run to the other room and just keep on working.
Well, that's one of the things that I've been trying. I've been thinking of doing soon, buying one. So I don't, I'm not always. I have to be on my computer to work on certain things.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't replace the computer. It doesn't replace Photoshop. It doesn't replace. But it's a great extra tool to have for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And those other tablets are like the other one that you were just talking about, the one that you got there. It's you notice that when the other companies are, it seems like everybody's bringing it because there's some real competition now. Cintiq's not the only game in town, so they're not going to bleed out.
One of the things is that they had the what's the name of it? Brevet. I have it the name in the. But when they pay and they have the right because they created it, so they have priority for I think for the first 5 years or something.
Yeah.
So there's certain technologies that people could not use because they own the priority on it. So that's what happened is it got freed, and so now they can reproduce the stylus technology instead of having their own all the time. It's like the same thing with Nintendo back in the days with the controllers. When PlayStation came out, they have to pay Nintendo for the right of using the T-pad, even if they're competing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And people watching, this is the one I'm doing. I got inspired by the fact that they're trying to erase Punisher. So right now here they're trying to castrate Punisher. Like in that movie Ice Pirate. So on a conveyor belt about to, toxic male. And they're getting castrated. And they're laughing and no reason why he looks like I won't say it, but he has a nice hat. And you might like he's a mix of all of those. And you might have one of maybe Nat in the back about to go like, do I save them or not? Because I might be putting Wolverine here and Lobo. Three of my favorite characters. They're about to get really, really erased from the entire comic book thing.
There'll be no coming back.
Nope. But does that mean we'll be able to buy them and then show them that we can dominate the industry with those characters? I'll gladly buy Punisher, Lobo, and if you don't want them, I'll take them.
At a special discount.
Because they're toxic.
Oh, wrong layer. Nice.
So what inspired you guys to do parody comics?
You're goofy. We make fun of everything. We have a real cheesy sense of humor, and this is the perfect outlet for us to do our thing.
I grew up watching a lot of vintage Saturday Night Live and movies like Airplane, and I just thought, what better way to make fun of my comic book. Yeah, and just kind of lampoon that. It's a lot of love. We're never really that cruel. We just kind of do it out of admiration and
But it's like the reason why you guys all know what Ice Pirate is, and I didn't know until yesterday. And dude,
Really?
as soon as they break in and the door, the hole break down, and the aliens on the toilet, I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, I'm in for a good ride. They're breaking the ship and right in front of an alien on the toilet, and they're just passing in front of him. And I'm like, can you take care of him?
I'm
I'm
gonna have
like,
to
okay, I'm
revisit.
in. Beacon,
That was
if you
like
don't know what we're talking about, we can watch it later.
Okay.
Robert Ear. Yeah, that was.
That was hilarious.
Was he kind of like a Han Solo type of guy?
Yeah.
Was
And you have young Ron Perlman, dude. The first time I saw him, I'm like, damn, that was pre-Vincent, because after Vincent, he didn't look like that.
Oh.
The Beauty and the Beast show, they're like, dude, I've never seen him look this young. Like he didn't have the same, monkey part of his face that dominant.
The monkey part.
The monkey jaw.
Yeah. It's Hellboy, right? Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did Vincent in Beauty and the Beast. Remember the old show where he used to be like
Yeah.
half lion.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have
I
done
used to
a.
love that show.
Oh, see, Don, we could do a parody, and it could be like Hellboy, and it could be like Sarah Connor.
Yeah. They live in the sewer.
Write that down, Don. I'm serious. Write that down.
It could be like it could be like WandaVision. We can do Hellboy and Sarah Connor. It would be. I like it.
They're gonna fight Terminator.
Bill, you did a few Terminator jokes back in the day. We used to make fun of Arnold.
Oh,
quite a
well,
bit.
Who didn't?
that was a great occurrence.
Like, you can't even draw the guy without it looking like a caricature. Come on.
What was it? Was it Bill Burr that was saying that the way his voice sounds, it's like as high as he should have gone, because he accomplished so much, but as high as he should have gone, he just should have been unloading trucks in Transylvania. The way his voice, like nobody understands what he says. It's like, get out of here,
Get to the truck.
get to the truck, unload the Doritos. So yeah, there you go. I threw something up on the camera. That's just my ode to myself as I'm sitting here eating healthy.
Wearing your fat helmet.
Where? Let me see if I look at. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I think I'm centered right on there. Yeah, I'll put it sideways so you can see the whole thing. I'll have to move the camera.
Bill, who were like your influences, like back in the 90s before I met you? Did you read a lot of Mad Magazine, or what were you kind of? What?
Well, when I was a kid, my first real influence to draw like sequential stuff, and which just happens to be parody stuff, was John Severin.
All right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, he was my guy. It's like I was actually pretty upset that I could never meet him. I never met him in person. I got to meet Mort Drucker. I got to meet a lot of the other guys. But John Severin, I never got to meet. He passed away before I had a chance to meet him. But I got a piece of his original art up on the wall. You know, I got tons of his issues of Crack and stuff. So he was one of the he was literally the first guy. Other than that, I was buying I don't know, like Steve Ditko Spider-Mans, or like I was buying comic books off the rack at a Navy exchange. You know, like from a 7-Eleven. So that's where my comic book days kind of started. As far as like a kid collecting and being inspired by stuff, making me want to draw stuff.
I was going to show people that on Bill's cover that he did for the new one, which we have for sale. He actually gives me a homage to Crack on Cable's costume. He actually has a copy of Crack magazine underneath his buckle here, and Bill knows that my very first published work was in Cracked that had John Severin in it. So it's kind of funny how things come around full circle. But then again, it makes me feel old, Bill, that I got published in a book with John Severin and you were reading him when you were younger. So
I was a wee bit child.
You were quite prolific, Bill. I don't think anyone was cranking out as many books as you were in the 90s. I mean, how many? We had you doing like it seemed like 2 or 3 books a month.
There was a couple of months where I think I drew 4 books a month.
Wow.
And that was insane. But I mean, M&Ms aren't cheap, dude. You gotta work.
Hmm. Especially to get the blue ones.
Oh, dude, yeah, they sell them all.
There's not that many.
So you don't know what it's like in this country. It's upsetting. But yeah, dude, it's like we were doing that for shy of a decade. We're drawing parodies and doing entity comics, and you know, you only financed my life for a good chunk of my life. So that's we did pretty good.
We were a good team, man.
We're gonna do it again.
We are.
I mean, one of the things that was funny is me here in Quebec. You know, it's like the French part of Canada. It was the parody comics of superheroes, because we were big. If you know anything about Quebec, we're big in comedy. Like everything is comedy here. Like the biggest thing, it's all it is. We have the Festival du Rire, you know, just for laughs and all those stuff. And it was really hard when I was a kid to find superhero comics, actual DC and Marvel comics. But I would see, you know, X-Force. I would see all those parody things, because that's what's in demand here. That's what people like here, because we had our own mad, right? We had our own little thing, and that's something that we've always done. You know, like, you know, in France you had the Charlie Hebdo type of thing.
Yeah.
We had the same thing here, and so that's why I know most of the books you guys mentioned, like, you know, like the X-Force. I've seen it. Like, it was easier to get those, you know, parody than getting the actual comics.
Yeah, we had good distribution back in the day. We would sell. It wouldn't be uncommon to sell like 20 to 30,000 copies of a parody.
Oh, for sure.
Especially when the Image books came out, like Spawn and Youngblood and Savage Dragon. Those are all probably some of our best sellers.
But people like to laugh at the things they love. It's weird, but it's true. We don't just like to like make fun of the things we don't like. We also like to make fun of the things we like.
Well, I'm pretty sure the only things that we actually did or the only things that we did parody of were things that we actually really loved.
Yeah.
Because how else can you do a parody of it unless you're going to be just mean, mean spirited, But if you're actually going to do a parody of something and have it just like you're laughing with it, not at it, you know what I mean?
So as you can see, there's a machine here that puts whipped cream on their genitals. I just thought it was cool. Even if they're in costume, before they get their balls bit off, I just thought, let's be nice to robots. I don't know. Like I said, inspired by Ice Pirates.
Where are my balls, sucker?
Yeah, that Rick and Morty was freaking awesome. Where are my balls, Summer? Let me ask you. And it does give you that creepy vibe when he comes in and asks you, like, would you freak if your pet would come in? Where are my balls? What have they done? But this is what's happening right now. Am I the only one that was upset when they introduced the new 52 Lobo here? Come on. Lobo was like one of the first parody comics.
Yeah, I was not too happy about the new Lobo. I'm still not happy about the new Lobo.
Yeah, they tried to bring the classic one back. I don't know if you saw it. They even tried to bring Bisley on it, the Harley Quinn special. I don't know if you saw that one.
You know what? That rings a bell, but I don't remember actually picking it up or reading it. I do not know. I'll have to double check on that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a solicitation board for it. Were we allowed to leave our houses and the comic shops at that point? What part of the lockdown was that? Did it come out?
No, that one came out a few years back. That one.
Oh, okay.
Before lockdown.
That's how confused I am. That's time has passed. It's just been one long day.
I know. It's like this. We've been at this for like what? Almost. We're on the second year now.
Yeah, yeah. This is we just the 1 year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
And people are like, "How can you handle living in the?" Like, oh, it's not that different for people like us.
The work day hasn't changed at all.
Exactly.
But for the few minutes I go outside, it got real different.
Yep, pretty much. It's like when I want to go out, that changed. But it's like I'm used to being locked out, working, and pretty lock myself down usually. But hey.
I've always not wanted to get diseases.
Like, I always made fun of it as like outside bad, inside good. What was that? I don't remember what it was. Every time that's what it reminds me of.
I just want to make that outfit that Bubble Boy wears. That'll be my next cosplay. I'll just wear that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be Bubble Boy.
The balloon. Yep, Bubble Boy. So they started with Wolverine. Wolverine couldn't smoke a cigar. Then they went back and erased some in the comics. Did you see that one? But the worst one is when they went back and erased the butt of Michael Turner to get a flat butt. Which one? Dude, you go back and alter somebody that's art. It's like going like, hey, I'm gonna go Picasso, yeah. He fucked up. I'm gonna go correct his art. I'll be right back.
I'm sure nobody will think anything of it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I got it. I understand. I got it. Put them up. Start VM again. I like doing this thing. It's like taking a break. It's like breaking the I need to draw to I'm chilling, I'm relaxing, drawing. It's fun. And it's like breaking that little work barrier, I would say. Like, cause you always get in that little stress zone where you have to be careful, otherwise it becomes just a chore and you're not having fun drawing, and it becomes
Yeah, there's definitely days like that where it's just deadline, and that's all you really think about. You gotta break free from that for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Draw for fun for a while, then freak out. Remember you have bills, and then go back to the deadline. Then, yeah.
Don't remind me yet.
Therapy will be unsuccessful if I start too soon.
This is like the paperback thing. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. That was another joke I laughed yesterday at Ice Black Pirate. Was it? No, it was something else I watched. Yesterday I found another movie going through researching cool sci-fi movies from the 80s, and I came on something called Hell Has Come to Frogtown.
Oh man,
with Rowdy Piper.
Rowdy Piper, man.
It came out at the same time as They Live, and I'm like, I watched the trailer, and it's so freaking out of nowhere and funny, and I'm like, okay, we need to watch it.
Uh-huh.
And if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's stupidly funny. Like, you it's so funny you can get pissed and laugh at it. Yeah, so there's a point where there's a girl, he goes to Frogtown, and there's one of the frog ladies that wants sex him up because he's one of the only men that has a productive sperm. So they're trying to, get him to reproduce, and he's legendary for his sexual prowesses. So all the women want to sleep with him. He's a legend. So he gets over there. You have a nuggly frog lady that looks out of freaking like a Lovecraft type of thing
Right.
that wants to jump his bone, and he's like, "How can I do this?" Gives her a paper bag. It's a thing that I have. It's one of my kinks. So they didn't do it yet, right? Because they get interrupted, and later in the movie, she's like, "Okay, how can I thank you?" She grabs out the paper bag. And he's like, "Not now." Then they turn around and she gets killed. Oh, dude, I never saw that thing, but it was funny as hell. I miss that. I miss having like I say it often is before. Remember those days where it was not everything to be a blockbuster. Not everything needed to be like like the perfect recipe of a movie. You had experimental movie of all type. You have a special department for horror. You had a special department for comedy, and they were having fun experimenting. You don't have that anymore.
Yeah, they're too scared to take a chance. It's like it's all.
Like, do you think that Star Wars was planned? Do you think they thought they had a hit? No, they did not.
Yeah, back when they made new stuff, take a chance.
No, it's one of the things that when I came to CG and I did those indie comics, my first one I did was Blood Hunt because I was like, I miss those Payback movies. Remember Payback with Mel Gibson? Shoot Them Up, those old type of classic movie where you technically root for the bad guy. Like, he's not a hero. He's just a guy that lives in a world and has principles. So he's not an evil guy, but he ain't a superhero either.
No. Payback is a favorite. Love it.
I love that movie, dude. That entire thing of like, okay, take that freaking $100,000, dude. I just want the 17 that's owed to me. Like, dude, that's not even the worth of my suitcase.
And he shoots the suitcase. What's this mean?
Dude, I love that movie. That and Shoot Them Up. Shoot Them Up. That one was freaking good too.
I don't remember Shoot Them Up.
With Clive Owen, it's like seriously, you're gonna be watching it, and it's technically watching Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd.
Is that the one with the carrot where he's eating the carrot all the time?
Yeah.
Okay, I did see it. Yep.
And you have rock and roll non-stop action.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Smoking Aces for a second. I was like, oh, I remember Clive Owen always eating the carrot, and it was kind of like over the top action. Like, yeah.
Smoking Aces, that's another movie I liked a lot. Like, especially with everything happening the other day, I'm like, dude, do you remember the end of the movie? How you felt when you realize everything? Like, it's my favorite Ryan Reynolds movie. Like that part when he realizes everything that happened, and he just locks himself up, sits down, and just pulls the plug, and you hear that song. Dude, still to this day, when I listen to that song, it gives me the shivers.
You see?
Still to this freaking day.
I forget that Chris Pine was in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Playing one of the punks. Playing one of the Mohawk dudes.
Smoking Aces was one hell of a good movie.
Mm-hmm. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. So let's go see what Michael is doing right now.
Well, you got me thinking of the
colors.
Punisher. So, I got the Punisher playing ping pong. But I don't think it's going to be the Punisher. I want to give him a different name, but
the paddle shirt.
You know. The paddle shirt. I like that. Yeah.
I love phrasing. I'm good at it.
Thanks. I like this. Yeah. I think that'll be his name.
You guys are like prolifically fast compared to me.
You trained me, Master Chin.
What's that?
You trained me to be fast.
Yeah.
So Simon, what is Tales of the Knapverse about?
Tales from the Adverse. Well, that's technically an anthology. An anthology that I'm doing. It's like a world building to introduce the characters of Nat the Merc. So it's all built. It's technically I was working on my series Nat the Merc. It was something that I was working as a animated project in 2009 when I was in college, for 3D animation. That I decided to make a comic out of it, and I got approached by a company called Edition Paradis. They were doing something called Zidara 9, which was technically like a heavy metal type of magazine. And he wanted me to put a short story in there, and I'm like, what can I do that's interesting? Because usually, you know, I'm a big fan of Heavy Metal Magazine, 2000 AD, but 2000 AD, they were building something with their short stories. So I'm like, what can I do? So I'm like, I'll introduce one character, give a bit of his origin, then start introduce other characters and letting you hint that there's a link. Until, you know, I build my universe. Because it's kind of like every time you write a story, you start building the universe. You're like, okay, I'm building a whole bunch of story. There's characters that you don't even know when you're gonna meet them, but you wrote their stories. So I'm like, while I work on the main story, I'm gonna come out with the world building part of it. Because my idea is like that, you know. I can tell you a story that happens before, during, or after the Nat the Merc story, the series. In Tales from the Adverse. I introduce you characters that are friends or foes. You don't know. Some you do, some you don't. You might think they're gonna be best friends, and you're gonna end up they're gonna be enemies. That's what I'm doing with Tales from the Adverse. I have like 3 first issues, and it's technically like, hey, here's Nat, here's a few other characters. So when I get to Nat the Merc, you know the characters, you know the universe that's living and breathing. You're pretty much caught up to what Nat knows. And then you're gonna follow Nat, discovering his past, because he knows nothing about where he got that arm, or really where he's from. All he knows is that he was born from an experiment of aliens trying to complete an ancient DNA trend, and people wanted him dead. And the assassin robot that got sent to kill him is now his dad.
Wow, sounds pretty complex. You've been thinking about this for a while.
So that's why I'm like, how can I start and set up everything that I want just by one story? I'm gonna have to do a lot of flashback, a lot of this, a lot of exposure and this. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna start with a whole bunch of short stories, having fun, and like that, and building up to that Nat the Merc. So when you get there, when we get to Nat, you know that somewhere else there's Rose, a pirate, being the queen and doing bad shit. You have Luani traveling around being a merc of her own. And so on and so forth. There's a federation. There's a guy there.
Awesome. You're just kind of setting the stage. Sounds like.
So it's the number one. It's me taking what I've published before in Tales in Zidara 9, all those 3 first short stories. The ones that were not published, I reworked them, and I did new stories and put that in one and restarting everything.
Awesome. And this is full color?
Yeah. Yeah, it's an 80-page book, and there's like 5 short stories in it, and there's 3 issues planned, and after that I start the main series, Nat the Merc.
Wow. Good job, man.
And launching in like 2-3 months there will be issue 2, and I'm working on something called Inkslayer with the Scotsman, Inkspot, and Mr. Beacon right here. What I was telling you guys before, the type of heavy metal. Dude, I miss those heavy metal in 2000 AD type.
Magazines, yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, like even heavy metal ain't what it used to be.
No, it doesn't have the same feel, right?
Nope.
It's still an anthology. You still got a mix of stories, but it doesn't have that same kind of edgy feel like I used to remember.
Like before, when you used to read heavy metal, they would take you to an uncomfortable place. That's the thing that I try to tell people to experiment with comics. Like, to me, comics, like from where I'm from, to me comics includes American comics, European comics, mangas, and everything. To me, that's what comics are, right? Nobody tells the story the same. One makes a manga because that's a Japanese comic. One makes a European comics because it's a comic made in Europe. You know what I mean? It's different ways of telling stories. So when you will have heavy metal magazine, you had a mix of all of that. So you had one that was like more of a Eastern storytelling, then you had a European storytelling, which was make you feel uncomfortable a bit more, and you're like, what the fuck am I reading here? And then it ends in a way where you're like, holy shit! Like one of my favorite books, it's Meta Baron. And tell me, dude, if anybody that read Meta Baron, you know that there's a moment where you go, holy fuck.
It's like, that's how this ended?
Yeah, you're like, this just happened? How the fuck are this? And then you're like, oh, okay. Moving along next. Because if you don't know anything about Meta Baron, like the actual series, like the evolution of from the first Meta Baron to the one that you meet in Inkle. And let's just say each Meta Baron, right, has to have one son, and son only. And that son needs to be trained, sacrifice a piece of him to be replaced by cybernetic, train, fight his dad, kill his dad, inherit his role. So can you imagine that there's a lot of things that could go really, really weird. So imagine one of them loses his genitals. What happens next? What happens if one of them is born with its twins and one's a girl, one's a boy, one's brain dead, one's not? What happens? Those type of weird things that you see, and it's like when you read manga, they go to a point where Eastern comics don't go. Like you've never Akira is special. Like Berserk is also something that you're like, okay, you would not have read that in American comics. Wow. Especially if you read Berserk and you know what the eclipse is, you're like, huh. People, widen your horizon, explore. Like it's one of the funniest things. Like I was talking with my bro the other day. It's like one of the most famous Western comics ever, right? Blueberry, done by a French guy, Cousin Giraud, aka Mobius.
Mobius, yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with Lucky Luke, one of the most famous cartoon cowboys ever, made by French people.
Yeah, love.
Not imagine them to be cowboys, would you? But Mobius was the type with one of his friends and just left and lived on a ranch, and that's where they did their comics. So they are. So they were really into American culture back then too. Then they did Metal Hurlant, which became Heavy Metal Magazine. But they got noticed. Then Mobius is the one behind Aliens. Most of their you had what's his name, Philippe Druyet, is the guy behind the design of Darth Vader, the Stormtroopers, the Death Star, and the two founders of Heavy Metal Magazine.
Oh, that's cool.
They all went. Mobius was the storyboard and the concept artist of Tron as well, and The Fifth Element, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
So much influence, dude. Yeah, so much influence.
Like. It's just explore, people. Comics is a very vast and fun world. Like I love everything. That's why to me manga is manga is comics, American comics, everything. It's comics. There's no.
So that's what upsets me when you have a panel or you have somebody online telling people that they drew things wrong, or they're trying to censor something, or they're trying to this cover should have been like this or like that. And I'm just like, it's art. It can be whatever the artist wants it to be. Yeah. Whether it connects with you or not is a different story. If it doesn't connect, it doesn't connect. It doesn't mean anybody did it wrong.
Yeah, it's like another example. Like I draw a certain style, right? Mm-hmm. Does it mean that I'm not going to be a fan of a guy that like 6 a.m. like a guy I know that draws really cartoony that looks like Metal Slug art? I'm a fan of his. He's like, I don't understand that one. I like your style. Shut up. That's it. There's no explaining in it. Not because I draw what I draw means I only like what I draw.
Yeah, like that'd be ridiculous. That's like only liking one kind of music.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do you think rappers only listen to goddamn rap? Tupac's favorite song was the Miserable. You know?
Yeah, everybody likes tons of different things, man. I go from classical music to rap to Prince. It's like maybe not so much country. I stay away from country. Most of it is sad. But other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, I listen to anything, dude. Me, I'm a big like one of my classical weird little things I like guilty pleasure. That thing. I've always been a fan of the Phantom of the Opera ever since I've seen the Canadian cast as a kid. Like there was like the big play that was playing here, and then my high school brought me there, and I loved the fuck out of it. Thought the Phantom of the Opera was a good one. I thought it was funny, hear that Tupac was you love the Misérables. I'm like, yeah. No, I'm a big fan of Mozart and Beethoven, and I'm a big metalhead. And I like to sing, and I like to listen to hip hop and rap with my kid. Go figure.
And how old is your kid?
And sometimes I'm gonna listen to K-pop with the girls. My kids, I got here. There's 2 girls. There's 12 and 14. No, 12 and 15. No, 11 and 14, and the boys are 15 and 19.
Oh man, you're quite prolific.
2 are mine and 2 are my brother, but they're like mine.
I gotcha. Okay.
The boys are mine, but the girls are adopted to me. I love them like they're mine.
So I've got dogs that I'm contending with.
You got what?
Dogs.
I don't know. I think I decided to try and do a way too big drawing right now.
It's looking good.
I'm like, it looks like shit.
I got my sort of unambitious Soylent Green.
Okay, let me
Doing this
lock
little
on
sissy
you.
slap.
Boom. I like the fact that it has a poop.
Hey guys, just a little heads up warning. I might drop out of our thing. I think my Wi-Fi is. Your voices all got really choppy, and my stuff is slowing down. So I'm hoping I could stay on. But if for some reason I cut out, just don't take it personal. My Wi-Fi is dying on me.
No problem.
That's okay, Bill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, though.
In case it happens, I'll say in advance. It was nice getting to know you.
Yeah, you too. And hopefully we could do this again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I followed you on Twitter. I followed the link.
Oh, I appreciate that. Cool.
You do this every Sunday?
Yep, every
Simon?
Sunday at 7:15 p.m. Yep. And usually I do like a poll where I'll put I'll choose video games, cartoons, or stuff like that. I'm even thinking of maybe doing one on Saturday morning to do Saturday morning cartoon themed.
Sweet. Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Because we don't have Saturday morning cartoons for anymore, so I'm like, let's do a G.I. Joe special, a Transformers special. SWAT cats.
I was watching your G.I. Joe one when Don asked me if I wanted to be on. I checked out some of the stuff, and the G.I. Joe stuff really caught my eye. That was one of my favorites as a kid. So
I've been wanting to do the Silverhawks too. There's a whole
I
bunch
love
of-
all those.
Yeah.
I actually got to meet blanking on his last name, Peter is it Newman? He was the voice of the main Silverhawk. He was Tigra on Thundercats.
Mm-hmm.
He was a really cool guy to chat with. I think it's Peter. I don't know.
Hold on. The guy that did I'll Google it. Who?
He was the leader of the Silverhawks. I'm blanking on his name now.
Okay.
But he was also on Thundercats, Tigra, and I think he had another voice on Thundercats too.
I'll find it in a sec. Peter the Human.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Really nice guy.
He was playing Deezer, if I'm not mistaken. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of voice actors I've met, they're really cool guys.
Yeah, I've met quite a few. I've done doing a lot of cons. I get to meet tons and tons of people, and I've actually became good friends. I'm not really a name dropper, but I don't know if you like this cartoon, so I'll mention it. Marty Grabstein, he was the voice of Courage the Cowardly Dog. You remember that show from the late '90s?
Yes, that show's great.
Yes,
It's one of my favorites.
yeah, he's a really good guy. And
I'm just waiting until we do a Courage the Cowardly Dog doodle and chill.
I forgot to check the chat all along because I have to be on multiple windows.
Mhm.
So we have Ryan was in the chat. We have Artsy Design. We have a guy called Don Chin saying hello. He's multitasking.
Yeah.
So I want to say hi to everybody and thank you for coming. Sorry if I'm not. It's just that when I go to the other window, sometimes it turns the screen fully black, so you lose like. So that's why I don't go as much anymore.
Wow.
So I'm dropping by to say hi, everyone. Thank you for being there.
Don't you have a second monitor?
Yeah, but the thing is, I lock it on the handout, right? Not to have a problem. So if I go on any other window, like that's internet, it goes black. It like creates a little conflict. But I can go from one program to another without a problem.
Monitor.
Still need to erase here.
Here are the Marvel Knights getting ready to go get castrated. And you have a big whale there, and you have the mix of Mr. Peanut and Monopoly mixed with the Communists and everything in there. Just laughing.
I just noticed a little sign SJW. I love it.
And it's called the Toxic Mail Trail. Come on. Okay, Don, I think I need to do parody with you guys once in a while.
Yeah. This is awesome, man. You're natural.
Because I'm like, okay, I got tired of doing that one. Let's do something else.
That's what I've been doing all night. I just turn different layers on and off. I finish something or I don't like it, I just go to a different layer.
So what are you doing right now?
I don't know. You were talking manga. I love manga, so I started thinking of Astro Boy and I don't know. It's not really Astro Boy in looks, but it's just a little kind of playing around.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying. It gave me like Astro Boy.
Yeah.
Remember Big Boy in the Austin Powers? I don't know if that was an actual thing, but yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. We got a Frisch's Big Boy in our town.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Yeah, they had the whole character and everything.
So let's see.
It wasn't nearly as big as the one in Austin Powers, but
But he's very beefy for Astro Boy.
Oh, my character here, yeah, or the one you're talking about.
Your character.
Yeah, you know what? When I first started drawing him, before it became Astro Boy, it was going to be a parody on Link from Zelda. So I went a little muscular, and I don't know. I went a little crazy on that one. We could keep them a little small. Do a smaller one here. Go a little chibi next to him.
What's your pencil? And Beacon Soylent Green.
Do we lose?
Has a classic soy face, that's for sure.
Yep. He's got his little SJW tattoo, and I don't know if anyone will be able to guess what that's based on. But...
Is that his tramp stamp?
No, the tramp stamp would say like Nintendo Switch or something like that.
Is there a pun that I'm missing with that place in the logo?
It's designed after a certain organization's logo. So I don't know. Maybe someone will recognize what I was going for there.
Maybe.
Yep.
But we won't say it.
Yep.
Me, I got inspired by something else. I thought of Reservoir Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of being the police officer in the chair, a Punisher. With the lead spread and tied to the...
Bill's going to be very happy you drew more than one piece.
Who?
Phil, your good buddy Phil.
Okay.
And let's put a Mouser. Remember the Mouser?
The pistol?
Cool. Oh, that's
Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
Not a Mauser.
Oh no.
I'm gonna have to get going, guys. But I want to show you what I drew, which was cable TV from my
Well, you know
own
what?
creation.
We passed the hour. Might as well close down and go into this, and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
And we lost Bill, so
We
might as
lost
well do
Bill.
the little closing. And people go check out X-Force Reloaded #1. And
Awesome.
you probably have more coming after this. Do you have an issue 2, or you're gonna be switching like type of titles after this?
Yeah, we'll see. There might be some other older books that we'll bring back. You know, we did a Punisher spoof, and you like the Punisher, and we have to have you contribute.
I'll be interested. I am a big fan of the Punisher, and I don't like what they're doing to him. It's like the logo right now.
No genitals. That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, we call it the Ballisher. It's coming for your balls.
Thanks for letting me hang out with you guys. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Michael and Bill.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I really enjoyed myself tonight.
I had a good time. I got to get going because I hear someone calling.
Let me know anytime you want to drop by again, Don. You're always welcome.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good night, guys.
Later.
You too.
Later.
And Michael, where can people find you?
If you type my name in to anything at Michael Gracia, that's spelled Grassia. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. At that, I do actually Tuesday nights. And after listening to all this, I'm gonna have to have you guys on one night. I do a I interview. I have a show called Get in Tune, TOON, and I talk to creatives, mostly pushing indie people, and helping them get their work out there.
Oh, send me a link to your channel. If I'm not sub, I will.
Oh, cool. Thank you. I'll definitely do that. I'll send you through YouTube. And I also have the Get in Tune with the TOON.net on Facebook, which is where you can follow along with everything that's going on. And when I'll always talk about when I do some kind of work, like, I'm working, well, when I'm allowed to, like, I waited until Don said I could, until he said I was working on the projects to start talking about what I was doing with him. I'm doing an 8-page manga-based story right now for someone else, and I'm actually doing a motion comic on spec right now. I got to see if I get the gig. I got to finish it tomorrow. So yeah, I'm always doing something. I do a lot of work with kids, though. That's my big thing. I before the pandemic, I used to travel to schools and libraries and stuff and teach kids about comics and animation. Storytelling, all that stuff. I'll teach at colleges, and I do a lot of educational cartooning.
Dude, that's cool. Like, it's a bit how some of us got into it, because I remember, like, a long time ago when we were kids, we had, like, cartoonists, like people like doing shows. Captain something. He does cons now. I just can't remember the name, but he used to be dressed as not an astronaut, but like he. Yeah. Anyways, the name's not coming. I hate it when that happens. You have it on the tip of your tongue, and you're like.
I'm terrible with names all the time. I always have these brain farts when I want to know, when I want to think about it.
Yeah, like 5 seconds ago, I would remember, and now that I want to say it, it's kind of like, nope.
Yeah, that's how it is for me too.
So go give a follow to Michael.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for having me on. I really did have a lot of fun tonight. It's not, I don't always get time just to sit down and doodle. When I'm in front of my computer here, I'm usually working on something.
But if you're on Twitter, on Facebook, like, follow me, and if you want to come in, I'll send you a link.
I'll totally be interested in that. And what's your Twitter handle and stuff?
I'm under Simon Sympathy. You'll see me.
Okay.
I followed you, I think, like a few minutes ago when Don shared the thing.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will be following back for sure. And I actually got to go shoot a video for kids right now. So thank you for having me on. and we'll definitely be in touch. I had a blast tonight.
Later, Michael.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
All right. You too.
Later.
Bye, everybody.
Later. And people, don't forget to go back 7 Legions. Where can we find you, Beacon?
You can find me on Twitter for now at the number 7 Legions Beacon. On Parler, as long as it's up, at Michael Beacon. On YouTube at Michael Beacon. And you can go to 7legions.com to learn more about the 7 Legions universe, and back 7 Legions on Indiegogo. You'll get it immediately.
And Brendan.
Yeah, you could find me pretty much every single new social media site at Zaid Ninja. We are currently working on our newest comic, the sequel to Magic Cop, so Magic Cop Episode 2, White Lines. And hopefully you guys are excited about that, because we're going to be launching that very soon. There is a mailing list for it right now, so if you guys want to get in on some exclusive stuff for being on that mailing list, you can go to any of the social media outlets.
Oh, I'm going to have to add it to the description, that one, now, because I still have the lost pages,
Oh, yeah. And we're still shipping out the lost pages. So we're doing like next day shipping basically on the lost pages. So if you order it today, it'll ship out to you tomorrow, and you'll get it just in a few days. So if you guys want to get on the lost pages, which we've been working on for the last several months, you guys can get your hands on that as well before we launch Magic Cop 2.
Sweet. So go now, people. And don't forget to like, sub, and share this show, the channel. As soon as we reach 500 sub, I'll be doing a big, nice giveaway of a Heavy Metal Special Edition sketch cover. So you definitely want to get a chance of that, and some original art. So go back, Telson, and adverse, please, people. We're getting ready to go to print at the end of the month, beginning next month. Even if my country's going in full lockdown for a month. We're still going to be ready to print when everything comes back. So, later, everyone.